Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to share with you how we cover geography in our homeschool. I'm going to share a few resources, some ideas and things that we do with the kids and how we use them, and then I'm actually going to pull them in and I'm going to show you how we actually do. I'm going to show you in practice with the kids so you kind of get an idea of what we're doing. Now, one thing I want to just right off the bat share is you're going to notice that I use the same resources for all my kids, even though my kids range from age of 10 to 4. So we are using the same stuff, but you will notice that my expectations for each kid is drastically different. So what I expect of my 10-year-old is much greater than what I expect of my 4-year-old, even though we're covering the same information. So you'll kind of see that when we do it in practice. Now, the first thing I want to share is the idea of blob mapping. So we are covering United States geography this year. We're doing United States history. We're also covering geography. So this idea of blob mapping is that we start with just a plain map of the United States. And you're going to see that I have just found one off the internet and then I've slipped it into a page protector. So when I'm doing this with my kids, each one of them, when we start each year, we're all starting right at the basics. We're kind of refreshing our minds and remembering things. So they're all starting at the same page. The older ones kind of accelerate much quicker. So we all have one of these, and then this is my guide. So I took one of them, put it in a page protector as well, although I have my writing on it. And you're going to see how I've divided them into different sections. So I have a vertical line and I have a horizontal line. And then I've made little, mental pictures in their mind so that they can kind of visualize what they look like. Now, I will start off, I cannot take credit for this. I saw this and was introduced to this at a co-op. So I did not create any of this. I just utilize it in my own home and have made it for myself. Just want to start off with that little tidbit. So I'm not the creator of this. And if I knew who it was, I would give them credit for it, but we saw it at a co-op. So I can't help you there. But you're you're more than welcome to make this with your own map. All right, anyway. Back to what I was saying, we have a vertical line and a horizontal, and so we've just divided the United States into 4 different sections. And this first one, I've showed them that we're going to make a snail shell here, and then we have the snail body. And so if you look just at this part, it kind of looks like a little snail. You can put little, antenna or eyes on there to help them visualize it if you want. And then the next one, I showed them that if I turn my page sideways, kind of looks like Pinocchio. I've put a little eye here. He's got a really long nose, an open mouth, and then a chin. And again, we're connecting to the horizontal and the vertical lines. Then this next part, it kind of looks like it would just complete a circle, but we have said that it's a pizza with 2 little bites taken out of it. So that's how we have that little memory note to remember that it's kind of like a circle, but just 2 bites taken out of it. And then the last one's super easy. We just made it into a plain rectangle. And then when you kind of take that all away, you really do have a blob map of the United States. Now, one thing to point out is it perfect? No. Do I have every nook and cranny outlined in all of the states? No. But I'm just expecting a blob map. I'm not looking for perfection. I'm not looking for every nook and cranny. I just want them to get a general shape of the United States. So again, this is what I'm using for me to guide them. I usually will grab a dry erase marker and I'm tracing over it with them, and they're using this. So they're using a dry erase marker and they're going to do the vertical and a horizontal, and then they're going to make their own lines as they go. And that's kind of the first step where we start. Now, you'll notice that when my kids get older, or at this point, being a couple weeks in, my oldest will actually not even start with the map. He's going to turn it over and he's just going to start with his baselines, his vertical and his horizontal lines, and he's going to draw them from memory with the little memory notes that we've made. So it's kind of how we progress. We progress by tracing, and then we move to just doing it without anything, but using our vertical and horizontal lines. Now, this year we are focusing on American geography, but each year it kind of changes, and we kind of go along with our Classical Conversations guide. So as our geography changes, our focus changes as well. Sometimes we're focusing more on Africa, sometimes we're focusing on the world map and kind of just making the continents. Sometimes we're more focused on Europe. So the way that we are doing our blob map, it kind of changes with each year, but we keep cycling back through. And this is the third time my oldest has been through American geography. Another idea that if you don't want to use a page protector, you can always buy tracing paper. And so the tracing paper shows through really well on the maps or whatever you're using. So you can always, see there's my tracing paper on top of it. If you would like them to do a little bit of work with a pencil instead of a dry erase marker, you can always put the tracing paper over your map as well. Just tracing is an excellent skill because that we're making those connections and we're putting things to memory by just constantly doing it over and over, right? Like if we want to have the muscle memory to do a free throw, we do free throw after free throw after free throw until we make so many. Well, the same is true with drawing or tracing. The more we trace this, the better we're going to be at being able to draw it when I take the map away. So those are the basic things that we use for our blob mapping. Again, a blob map is not perfect. It is getting a general shape of the United States. It's not getting all the nooks and crannies and all the ins and outs of our entire country. But the next step that I moved to, after we have a general shape of our country, then I moved to something a little bit more advanced. Now, again, my youngest is probably not even going to touch this. I'm really going to be expecting it of my oldest, maybe my second oldest in third grade, but that'll be kind of if he's showing an interest in it and if he wants to, honestly. My younger two probably won't touch this, again, unless they really are showing an interest. But it's this book, and I really, really like these books. They have several different ones. We actually have Draw Africa as well as Draw Europe. And these books are really great for step-by-step and drawing the individual countries or states in this case. So it literally walks you through steps of like, you know, this is the edge of the paper. You need to leave a little bit of room here. And then it kind of not only gives you instructions here on how to teach it, but maybe like, what does the state look like? So here it'll say, let's see, draw a mitten looking shape. That mane is going to kind of look like a mitten. So when they're trying to draw a mane, that's going to be kind of their mental note. Think of a mitten, or, you know, here Massachusetts will have a hook-like thingy that hangs off on the end. And so it's giving you step-by-step instructions on how to draw each state until eventually you're working, you know, one at a time, and you're able to go all the way from coast to coast. So it's a really cool step-by-step process. My oldest has done this before, and he will enjoy just sitting down, opening this book and drawing a few states and adding to his map as we go. But these I do highly suggest if you're interested in geography and learning how to draw states, obviously states for the United States, and then learning how to draw Africa. Again, they're going country by country and giving you little pointers as you go, little memory notes of how to remember what maybe that country looks like or what it's shaped like, so that it can help you draw it as you go. Another way that we do study geography is through our Classical Conversations guide. It is an old guide. It is something that we have done for several years, but we do continue to do it at home. We have here, it breaks it down by week. We're covering, again, the United States. So it covers which ones we're going to cover each week. And there is on the back side, this is just a little trivium table that opens really wide. It's got lots of different maps on it that we use. But we learn maybe 4 to 5 states. I think they're 5 right now. 5 states every week where we're adding on. We start up with Maine and we're kind of working down the eastern coast. So we're using this to be able to find the different states. We're memorizing the states and the capitals. And you could do this. You wouldn't necessarily need this map. You could just be using any map and just choose 5 states and capitals each week to memorize. And we're looking at the map, we're pointing at them and saying them, you know, a few times every day. And then once we've done it a little bit, we actually turn to this one. This is where it gets a little trickier because it's easy to find it, right? When the states and the capitals are listed and they're in color. This makes it a little bit more tricky when we go to our black and white map where nothing is listed. And I do a little bit of pointing and saying, okay, well, what state is this and what's its capital? Or can you point to Augusta, Maine? And then they have to point. And I do a little bit of both as far as spot checking and making sure that they know where their states are and what the names and the capitals are. So that's one way that we study it as well. Lastly, I just always like to have some books lying around that are pertinent to what we're studying. So these are always out and available for the kids if they want to look through them. They have a little bit more information, just some fun things, you know, state birds, state flowers, different things like that. I think honestly this was just a Target, you know, dollar spot find, but it goes through the 50 states, just has some fun little pictures in it that they could easily pick up if they were interested in finding, you know, it's got lots of little like, did you know? It used to be against the law to serve ice cream on cherry pie in Kansas. And my oldest just eats up these like little facts like that. So a lot of times he'll just pick these kinds of books up and read them. But they'll go through lots of fun little facts about each of the states, their capital, the nickname, flower, bird, tree, rock, and song. So these are just books that have, you know, fun stuff, different illustrations, different pictures about the states, fun facts about them, animals, just different things like that that they can look through. I love having books around that they can just pick up, look through. You know, it's at their leisure, but it is relating to what we're studying. So now I'm going to go grab my kids and I'm going to give you a little taste of the different things that we do when we are studying our geography. So you're going to see that it is a little bit different. There's that timer again. I've got to get this watch out of here, guys. So I'm going to go grab them and show you what this looks like in practice. And guys, I cannot guarantee that this is going to come out and be flawless work. We've been working on it for a couple of weeks, but who knows what you might see. Okay, so here I have my kiddos ready to do their geography. So I've got 2 that are going to do tracings and 2 that are going to be working on it without the tracing. They're on the back side of the map. So what's the first thing that we do? Do you guys remember? Do vertical, yeah, vertical and horizontal lines. Very good. We're dividing it up into 4 sections. Can you do that, Eden? Can you do a vertical and horizontal? Good. Very good. Okay, then the top one, the top right, we're going to make what? Do you guys remember?
A snail.
A snail. So we're going to work on the snail shell and then the snail body. Good. Okay, then after that, what's after the snail shell and the snail body? Do you need help, babe? Gabriel, can you point out to her, please, where she goes?
There.
Can you connect those dots? Connect the green dots. Curve up around. Good. And then can you make your snail body? What'd you make, Ezra? Okay, I'll help you just 1 second, okay?
Mommy,
What'd you make, Ezra?
I want to start all the way over. Pinocchio.
Pinocchio. Very good. Pinocchio has a really long nose. Isaiah, can you do Pinocchio with his long nose and his open
I
mouth?
want to start over.
Okay, start over. Erase it. Good. All right. After Pinocchio's nose, what do we have?
Pizza.
Pizza with what? 2 bites taken out of it. Very good.
Mommy, is it a Pinocchio pizza?
Pinocchio and then pizza. Yep. Okay. And then after we have our pizza, we have the easy section, which is what? a rectangle. Very good.
You messed me up.
It's okay. We're just getting rough lines. Very good. All right, so that's how we do our blob map. All right. All right, so this is the next part where we'll pull out the map and we'll do actual pointing of some states. So can you guys point to Augusta, Maine? Okay, can you tell me some other ones as we go?
Augusta, Maine.
Montpelier, Vermont. Concord, New Hampshire. Albany, New York.
Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Trenton, New Jersey.
Good.
Dover, Delaware.
Providence, Rhode Island. Boston, Massachusetts. Hartford, Connecticut.
Good. All right, now what
Dover,
happens
Delaware.
if we turn it over? Okay, so now we're looking at our blank map. All right, where is Augusta, Maine? Okay, where is Albany, New York? Good. Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. What is this one?
Trenton, New Jersey.
Good. What's this little one?
Delaware.
Good. What's this one?
Montpelier, Vermont.
Good. What about this one? Hey, Eden.
I have no idea.
This one. We have Augusta, Maine.
Concord,
Okay, what's this one that has the hook on the end?
Boston, Massachusetts.
Very good. What's the little tiny one?
Providence, Rhode Island.
And the one beside it?
Hartford, Connecticut.
Very good. All right. Good job. All right. Now I'm just with my oldest, and we're going to be showing you a little bit out of the Draw the USA, which is an easy step-by-step approach. So he has his paper, and we're going to start. Again, it gives you a little bit of direction here about leaving a little bit of room. So I'm just going to kind of turn it over and let him show you how we would do this. Okay, and then we'll label the states. Which two are those?
Vermont and
Yeah, you're right.
New Hampshire.
New Hampshire. Okay, so turn the page. And this is where we point out that we're adding Maine, and Maine kind of looks like what?
Mitten.
A mitten. All right, and we'll label Maine. Okay, and then after Maine, what do we add?
Massachusetts.
Massachusetts. And it goes along the base of Vermont and New Hampshire, and then it has that little hook. Good. So label that one. Okay. Turn the page. And kind of have a rectangle with a little squarish protrusion, it says, at the bottom left side. And then we actually divide that into two, and it becomes what two states?
Connecticut and Rhode Island.
Very good. So that gives you a little idea of step-by-step instructions as to how we would draw the United States state by state. All right, guys, that's how we study geography in our homeschool. I hope it was helpful, maybe gives you some ideas of different things that you could implement into your own homeschool. If you have any questions, I would love to answer them as always. And until next time, guys, have a blessed day.